continuing with the third and the last one in the chromatic bass ideas by James Jamison. So I hope you got the PDF in case you're starting from the third video outside, working backwards. Make sure you've done 1 or 2 as a suggestion first of all. And let's focus in, what is our fretting hand doing? The notes are quite important here. We're starting off on B flat, that's B flat, fret number 6 of the 4th string, and we're jumping 2 strings across that. Now this note is quite significant. It's the flattened 7th, also known as the dominant 7th. So this chord is actually being implied as a B flat 7. So if you're jamming with a guitar player, you should be strumming B flat 7 and you will be going, and the two will work quite nicely. Now the 8 over here is quite important because that's the octave, and the octave means if that's B flat, that must be B flat. Same note, just higher in pitch. Okay, so we're starting off again. Now this is one of the rare times we'll see that instead of doing, I wouldn't do that for this phrase because I have to go from there into that very quick fret 8. So what I'll do for this, I'll actually walk up, and this is the chromatic we're speaking about, fret number 3, 3, 4, 5, 6. Because now I'm actually in the position for the next bar. And when I say position, I'm trying to say the position of the next chord. So your first chord being the B flat 7 uses this walking phrase into the E flat 7. That would be the normal octave over here. But what he does, he doesn't go to the octave, he plays the dominant 7th instead. So the first drift goes from the root dominant 7th octave, chromatic walk up, onto the 5th this time instead of the octave, and then dominant 7th. So the second, the E flat 7, the second chord implied, doesn't actually have the octave present. So let's try this now, super slow motion. 2, 3, 4, and then the second chromatic phrase now, it's the end of the second bar, down to fret number 3 again on the E string, or 4th string, and it walks up the same way that your other one did. So your chromatics are sort of largely repetition over here. In other words, they're leading up semitone, semitone, semitone to the target note, the root note for the chord. The root note for the first chord is B flat, root note E flat, root note B flat, and you back to where you started again. So super slow motion. If you want to play with me, let's give this a go. 2, 3, 4, and if you were sharp, I'm sure you picked up there that I made a mistake on the 1 B flat 7th. I went, so I played the 5th instead of the dominant 7th there. Now, if that happens, you're playing in the band and you're meant to go, or you go, or you go, they're all going to complement the chord. So one of 2 things can happen over here. You can either be really frustrated and say, no, I should have done this, for example, but don't be. Know that you can do variations to create your own bass line. So this is what's expected. This is the original B flat 7th. This will be using the 5th instead. This is using the 5th and the dominant 7th. So you can play around with it, and I'd encourage you to be creative with the phrases as well. So don't feel that it has to be exactly what's on the note. If you play something wrong and you think, oops, wrong notes, but you like what you did, try and replicate it and analyze what you did. So this is our target. That's what you wanted, but if you do this, also sounded pretty cool, but it wasn't the right notes, but you still used the notes that used for making up that chord. In other words, the root note, the 5th, the dominant 7th, and the octave. So as long as you're playing within that, there's a lot of license to be creative inside it. So get to know your arpeggios, and get to know the names of the notes on the guitar neck, and don't let mistakes get you down. Mistakes are really good because you can see them as creative opportunities to learn new things. Hope you enjoyed the video. Take care. Cheers.